I'm Tony Sklar with bnetTV. We are here at the Wi-Fi World Summit in Barcelona 2012, and I'm speaking with Mr. William Turner of Xirrus. How are you today, sir?
I'm well, thank you.
Excellent. For all of our first-time viewers, why don't you tell us what you're doing here at the Wi-Fi World Summit?
Well, Xirrus is honored to be one of the presenters here, as well as to have a exhibitor booth. Xirrus really has a differentiating technology providing wired-like performance in a wireless environment, and we're here demonstrating that for the international carrier market.
Give me a good use case of what exactly that means.
One of the examples that Xirrus does very often is provide high-density, high-capacity wireless performance to large public venues, stadiums, large event theaters that want to have a large volume of people turning up in a very short span. Stadiums, conference centers, hotels. We are able to provide a very high-speed, high-performance environment in those kind of situations for our customers.
So we're seeing a lot more Wi-Fi-enabled stadiums come online, even to the extent where they're looking for a sense of audience participation. I know that there's a new stadium that was built recently in your neck of the woods that was pretty high-tech.
Yeah, absolutely. We're seeing a lot of demand from stadiums wanting to monetize their wireless offering. Some stadiums we're seeing do online betting, online concessions, offering replays, and getting the fans really more involved with the experience of participating in the venue directly.
What makes you different than your competitors in this market space?
Well, one of the things that Xirrus is able to do is offer guaranteed SLAs for performance. Okay. So when you have high-speed wireless applications and streaming media to sort of 5,000, 10,000, 80,000 participants, clearly you could have a problem where the network and the speed wouldn't scale. Yeah, that's right, that's right. And Xirrus has a very compelling story to describe how we're able to offer a very guaranteed, highly reliable, highly performing environment in that example.
Okay, tell me a little bit about that story. How do you do it? What's the magic behind the curtain?
Well, there are several aspects to the magic behind the curtain. We have self-healing and self-performing arrays that communicate with each other at all times to make sure that the coverage and the performance is at the array and at the density where it's needed at the time. We have a series of protocols built into every single array that allow us to identify key applications, key users, and key sites or areas that people are accessing and make better their connection and guarantee their quality of service.
And inevitably that self-optimization is being the backhaul throughput to the carrier, or is it just sort of within that enclosure?
Well, we're seeing it in both aspects. We're seeing it within the enclosure for things like the on-site betting and on-site concessions, where the conversation will go from a mobile device directly to a concession stand. But we're also seeing it going to the internet. Most especially we see Facebook and Twitter and other such usage in very high turnout environments, or people communicating back and forth, email if they're taking over the weekend or something.
Definitely, though, a lot of those high-end over-the-top players like the Facebooks, the Twitters, even the YouTubes, where people are streaming certain things to and from their device, conversing with their friends, that will weigh heavily upon a network. So again, that magic behind the curtain, where are you seeing that hockey stick-like curve, globally or just in certain areas?
Well, actually, we see it anywhere that we have a lot of people turn up. One of the phenomenons that we're noticing today is the concept of wireless is becoming really almost a human right. People have an experience at home with a high-speed communication line between themselves and the internet. And when they bring their laptop or their iPad home, they wind up with a very good connection because they and possibly their family are the only ones on it. Right. Then they turn up to work, and that connection goes from 12 meg or 14 meg down to 1 and even sometimes sub 1 megabit. And it's just not acceptable for the performance that they like to have.
Boy, how far we've come as a society where all of a sudden sub 1 meg is like, whoa, this is ridiculous. I can't work like this. I can't work under these conditions.
Exactly. Well, we're starting to see some companies ask if they believe wireless is going to become an inalienable right, like you'd have water and clean air. Would you have free or open access to Wi-Fi?
So good point. I spoke with Tom Ettridge earlier today from GoFreeNet, and we talked about the internet being an essential service. If there was any sort of regulatory body or jurisdiction that sort of would start to mandate a lot of those services. Now, we have seen that in certain states. I know that New York State has mandated that in all parks there be hotspots that are open to the public because it's inevitably an essential service. So we're sort of getting into that same arena, no pun intended, but would you see your company moving into that type of situation as well?
Absolutely. Xirrus excels at handling designed for the unpredictable, environments that we weren't exactly aware or that the customer doesn't know what the end demand is, turnouts for the Olympics, the Tour de France, areas that really offer an unknown quantity or an unknown area. So obviously having internet access in Central Park in New York would be a really good use case for Xirrus.
William, it sounds like Xirrus is well positioned within the market space and the ecosystem to perform well over over this next few years here. I see a big hockey stick-like curve coming in here for you. Congratulations on that.
Thank you very much. We're excited to be here.
I've been speaking with William Turner of Xirrus here at the Wi-Fi World Summit in Barcelona 2012. I am Tony Sklar with bnetTV.